Mr. Raymond Fondell, who's the owner of the Raymond M. Fondell Jr. Insurance Agency in Lake Charles, and also a member of the Southern University Board of Supervisors. He is a licensed insurance producer or agent, as most folks may be familiar with. So, Mr. Fondell.
Thank you, and good morning to everybody that's here. I think I talk kind of loud. I'm try to put this on me here. My name is Raymond M. Fondell Jr. I am a licensed insurance agent, and I'm also a graduate of Southern University. These very halls that you're on right here, I did this a long time ago. And that is 89, I graduated from here. And have an opportunity to be able to come back here and be able to speak with you today about a career opportunity in insurance. I've been in insurance almost 20 years now, and when I said where you're at, I didn't really know that insurance was going to be my course or my thing to do once I got out of school. I graduated, went back home. My family owned some funeral homes back in Lake Charles, and was fortunate enough to work for them, and I said I wanted to do something a little different. So when I sold cars for a couple of years, then I got on with State Farm in 1994 as a claims specialist. I spent 10 years doing claims. Great field, good. I mean, if you want to get into claims, you're gonna learn how to talk with people, get their cars fixed, put a check in their hand, and put them back out on the road. But I wanted a little bit more. And the more I wanted was to find out information about the agents, those guys who you go in their office for about 4 or 5 minutes and make your payment, and then you come out of there. And I was curious about it. And I started asking questions about it, and I said, you know what, I think I may want to do this. Because when you're in sales, man, look, when you're in sales, you get a great feeling out of being able to sell stuff. You know, and I say I sold cars for 4 years and was one of the top car salesmen at the dealership that I worked at. And went to State Farm and got there and I started getting the checks in and everything, and that felt good, but I still wanted more. I still liked the feeling I got when I sold stuff. And I got in the agency program with them. It was in it for a few years, and no opportunities came up where I was at in Lake Charles. So I went to another company, took a risk, went out and spoke with somebody, and I was fortunate enough to have been an agent. Got appointed with Allstate and was an agent with them for 8 years, and that went great. Wanted a little bit more, okay? And became an independent agent. Independent agents allow you to do things like insure buildings like this. I don't think anybody in here walked here. From whatever city you may be from, you were transported in a car. Everybody has to have auto insurance. They have to have life insurance. And they have to have commercial insurance. General liability, the things that cover you walking into this room, falling and hurting yourself. There's coverage for all of those things. But you can sell those products to everyone that you meet. Because I'm excited right now because I see all of you as potential clients. I'm loving it. So if I say my name 3 or 4 more times, Google me, Yahoo me, but if I can help you, you let me know though. But the way insurance works is this. When I got into it, there was nobody to really help me out, to tell me about it. So I kind of had to figure it out on my own. Because honestly, there are not a lot of minorities that do what it is that we do here. Even in your city here, there are only a few minorities that are agents that have their own agencies. And where I'm from, there's even fewer. So I kind of had to figure it out for myself because I'm going into a market and I'm having to take business from other people. Because right now, all of y'all got insurance. Some of you may be on your parents' policies or whatever, but you got insurance. So how am I going to get you to leave from where you're at to come to me? I call it marketing, branding. State Farm, Allstate, they're brands, okay? But all of them have agents. And the agent is what differentiates themselves from the product. And I've always prided myself on my name, Raymond M. Fondell Jr. That's once, Raymond M. Fondell Jr. Insurance Agency. I told you I was going to get 4 more out of it. I still got 2 more to go. But it's a brand. I learned marketing right here on the halls of Southern University. I used to sell. Let me tell y'all what I used to do when I was at Southern. I sold, and I can say it's been over 20 years, but I used to sell stuff out of my room. I used to sell blow pops, corn dogs, sodas. I'd drive down the street to the store. I'd have 2 refrigerators in my room. It's just the feeling that you got from selling those things, okay, that made me feel good about what it is that I did. And with that, I kind of took that to wanting more. And I told you I did this State Farm, did Allstate, and now I'm on my own. But this career field, man, it'll change your life. You cannot even imagine. Have y'all heard of what's called residuals? Residuals? Because all of y'all are paying them. Everybody in this room is paying a residual to somebody right now. Every time you walk into an insurance agent's office, you pay residuals. And that's how insurance agents are able to buy their buildings, pay their employees because of you going into that agency and paying that. Now, a lot of times you may not have an agent that's willing to tell you this information. Like I didn't know. I had to find out just by, just going to agencies. And I had an agent that kind of gave me a little bit, but they don't give you everything. But the residuals are what you absolutely want in this particular business, and you can get them. And the income level that you get is unreal. It's unreal. It's a good living, and you can do it for yourself. And all of you that are here, everybody's not going to get into it. I know some of y'all are here because the teachers told you had to come down or whatever, And I done been there, did that too. But somebody in this room has an interest in it. And I know that if you do, I'm more than happy to be able to speak to you. I'm a part of the Jaguar Nation here, have been for a long time, and I chose to come back here in the 80s. And if I can help you with it in any way, that's what I'm here for. But if you do it, you have to have a passion about it. You have to be dedicated, and you have to have a discipline for it also. So again, my friends, my fellow Jaguar Nation and visitors that are here, my name is Raymond M. Fondell, Jr. I got one more time, I told you 4, of the Raymond M. Fondell, Jr. Insurance Agency. I'm located in Lake Charles, Louisiana, but I sell insurance throughout the state of Louisiana. So if you call me, if you need some help with anything, even board stuff, I'm on the board of supervisors. If I can help y'all in any way, please let me know. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you once again. And of course, it's exactly how I entered into the industry, healthcare industry, is because I worked critical care at a hospital for maybe 16 years, and I still do work there part-time. However, I kind of stumbled in on a position as a personal nurse here at Humana and just coaching health members on their health, how to establish health goals and things like that. So when I interviewed for an insurance industry position, I'm thinking, oh, how exactly can an insurance industry utilize my skills? Well, I've gone from doing personal nursing to now I am a clinical learning facilitator. I travel throughout the United States and I train Humana's case managers. And in doing so, I have run across many, many fields, diverse opportunities within Humana. So I want to share some things with you regarding Humana's perspective, where we are. We focus ourselves on the 4 pillars of health, and those are going to be health, belonging, security, and purpose. Because we know now that healthcare is not just about health anymore. It's about caring for our families, our friends, finances, and our personal life goals. So I enjoy what I do. Again, I travel a lot. It's a great opportunity. Humana offers diverse opportunities. We have an inclusion and diversity department, which is very, very innovative. It was something that I didn't really realize we had, but when I stumbled upon it, I wanted to share some opportunities with you guys to let you know that we're here. We are looking for innovative people. We have New Orleans. We have a branch in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Kentucky, many branches in the state of Florida, Wisconsin, if you like to travel to Wisconsin. So there's a lot of opportunities there. I do have some information at the front there that tells you just how Humana is looking for great individuals that are wanting to make a difference in the insurance industry. Healthcare is a forerunner. We all know how important health is with the new healthcare reform that's going to take place pretty soon. It's going to open up just a broad range of opportunities. So you guys get in there. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. Is there any questions that I can maybe answer for you guys? Okay. Thank you kindly.
I just like to start out to ask a show of hands, and don't be embarrassed, but how many of you actually like math? Oh, we got a few, more than I expected. This is good. You really have to enjoy math if you want to get into the actuarial profession. The profession itself uses as a foundation math and the manipulation, if you would, of numbers in order to predict or estimate what future costs within the insurance industry are. It's very robust, but at the same time, the actual profession is not one that you normally would see on the forefront. You know, you're not going to find your name on the front page of a paper or often journals and this kind of thing within the profession, because you're working more in a back room to support the insurance industry. The profession itself is one of the most satisfying, according to U.S. News and World Report, CNN, Money polls. It's one of the most satisfying careers that an individual enjoys math could go down. Myself, I kind of stumbled into it. I was kind of maybe in the same shoes as many of you when I went to college to become a doctor. I was going to be the doctor in the family, but when I got to college by my sophomore year, I realized I don't like the sight of blood. It became an issue. I didn't like biology. I didn't like any of that stuff. And as a result, I had to do a little self-evaluation as to where I wanted to go. And I really did not know where I wanted to go. I decided math was fun. It was easy. And so I concentrated on math in my undergraduate program, and then I decided, well, what can you do with math with an undergraduate degree? And I decided I had to go to graduate school. I had to get a master's or even a PhD and go work for NASA or somebody like that, one of the think tanks. As it turns out, by the time I graduated, I was broke. And I decided rather than borrow a lot of money, I went out and started looking for jobs. The insurance industry was very interesting in the sense that they were willing to offer me a job, and they slotted me when I got hired. They slotted me in an actuarial position, which I learned an awful lot about the actuarial profession real quick at that point. The profession is not an easy one to get through. Just working for an insurance company saying you're in an actuarial division isn't the goal as an actuarial career. The goal is to pass actuarial exams. You have to become accredited to be recognized as an actuary, and it is not an easy path. A lot of folks, even though they are interested in math, may find that they are not as interested in the actual profession when they realize the sacrifices that will be made because you have to pass a series of 10 exams. Some schools actually offer degrees in actuarial science. Very few offer sufficient support to actually pass all exams. Something I had to do was go through the exam process in my first job. And it was a process that lasted 7 years. This is not unusual. I don't mean to scare you off, but Commissioner Dowland made the comment about actuaries as being high demand positions. They're in demand because not a lot of people make it through the exam process. It requires a lot of self-discipline and focus while you're probably working another job. If you have an opportunity when you're in school, I would strongly suggest, if you're interested in math, because it doesn't cost much, take an exam, the first exam or two. The first 2 exams are pure math, the kind of stuff you study in school. They're not that hard if you have gone through curriculum in school already that covers calculus, advanced algebra, things of that nature. They're not that tough if you enjoy it and you've already gone through courses and done well in those courses. Then there are another 2 exams that are highly related to math. They get into numerical analysis, insurance contingencies, and computer modeling, which are very closely related to math. But these, often in a lot of actual programs in schools, it's tough for somebody who's majoring in, say, math or finance or economics with you may have a strong acumen to math, but it's hard to get coursework where you actually get enough knowledge while you're in school to pass those exams. So you're going to do it on your own. And the exams that come after that, there are a series of right now it's 10 exams. The other exams are going to cover topics such as law, economics, computer science, insurance contracts, general insurance information. As Commissioner Dowling alluded to, the actuary is in the middle of all of this stuff. And this is what I really find enjoyable, having gotten through the process. And now I started out actually with an insurance company up in the Chicago area, ended up with a company out in California, left them and actually went with a Silicon Valley startup company in computers. We were building expert models for the insurance industry. That company got bought by, and this is part of the international aspects of the insurance business, got bought by a company in London. And they moved everybody to London. And I was ready to go, except my wife said, you go, I leave you, and you can go. It wasn't something I was going to do. So I had to find another career or job, and it turns out I decided to find another career. And this is 20 years ago, and it was within insurance regulation, where instead of being in the trenches for an insurance entity and trying to perform actuarial work, I decided to oversee, as a regulator, what other people were doing in the industry. And it's actually one of the most fascinating jobs I've had. I've been there for 20 years. I thought it was going to be 3, and I'm still doing it, and I do love what I do. I don't have a problem at all getting up in the morning and going to work, because it's always interesting and challenging. Now, it's not necessarily cut out for everybody. It's something where you're going to have to decide whether this path is one that you want to pursue or not. What does an actuary do? An actuary prices insurance products, to put it really simply. They're mathematicians for insurance companies. If you buy auto insurance, you're paying a premium. And Raymond's out there selling it hard. But you're paying a premium, whether for auto insurance. How much do you pay? An actuary figured that out. Your home, you're insuring your home. You insure your life. You've got health insurance. You have business insurance. There's different coverages around the world, such as terrorism insurance. There's catastrophe insurance, winter storms. There's flood. You name it, somebody has a product out there that they want to sell you. And Raymond's going to be the first one who's going to be calling you to try to sell it to you. But somebody had to put a price tag on that. And what is that price tag? It's what an actuary determined is the cost for you, the individual or a business, to give the risk to an insurance company, so that when a loss occurs, you have an accident, your health fails, there's a death in the family, somebody's going to have to pay for the cost based on an insurance contract, the cost of that event occurring. And what you're doing is you're transferring it to the insurance company for a price. The price is determined by the actuary. Now, I've mentioned a lot of different, if you would, lines of business and coverages. Actuaries are involved in all aspects of pricing for the insurance business. They're employed primarily by insurance companies, but government employs a number of them. There's a lot of consulting firms that deal with it. There are large corporations, banks, reinsurance companies. They all employ actuaries to help analyze risk. As I said, actuaries are looking at numbers using math to predict the future as to what something's going to cost. And all of these folks, whether it be Exxon who wants to buy insurance, or whether it is you who want to buy or have to buy auto insurance in order to drive legally in Louisiana, somebody has to put a price tag on it. And an actuary is the one who does that. As I said, it's a very rewarding, profession. There are a few actuaries. I said there's actually about 30, I think there's around 36,000 actuaries in all disciplines in this country. And there is a growth and high demand for more actuaries by all these entities. In fact, recently the Affordable Care Act has created a lot of new job demands in the health field, because according to the Affordable Care Act, a whole lot of folks have to start selling new products in new ways. And there is a lack of actuaries with expertise in the health field right now to fill the void. As I said, there are 36,000 is a big number, but if you think of it on the scale, a national scale of 100 million people at work, that's not very many in this profession. There is a great deal of demand for actuaries. As a result, actuaries are paid very well. The more successful you are getting through the exams, the better. For example, if you could pass 1 or 2 exams while you're still in school, the first 2, which as I said are almost all math, pure math, you could expect to make somewhere between $45,000 and $65,000 a year with absolutely no experience in an insurance job as an actuary. If you can get through all the exams, the average salary exceeds $150,000 for actuaries. Now, that's 10 exams. Now, you know, that's a lot of money. And within the insurance business, there's a lot in the insurance business can make more. But as a profession, that's not a bad salary to start with or to end with. And especially if it's a job that you like going to and you like getting up in the morning and going to work and solving problems that involve numbers and math for insurance issues. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm probably going well over my time. Not that I was given one, Patrick. But I do have, if anybody's interested, I've got a handout that may help you, direct you to certain websites and resources on the internet. There's one I'll mention by name. It's called BNActuary, all strung together.org. And it is probably the best site on the internet in order to learn more about the actuarial profession and what it might take in terms of your sacrifices to become an actuary over a few years. But it also deals heavily with the rewards that can be obtained by going down this path. Anyway, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to be around, I guess, a little while, so if anybody wants to come and talk, I'll be here and be happy to talk with you.
All right, great. And I did go to Southern, and I will tell you the great thing that I appreciate and love about Southern is that it's opportunity. You know, and one thing I'll say that I've learned today is that, you know, you might think you're different or special in some way, and you probably are. Everybody has talents. But everybody got up here and told you about the process that they went to get here and why they're sitting up here to help you and direct you where you can possibly go with your life. And Southern's allowing you to do that because it's giving you that opportunity. And you're going to graduate, and you're going to have, you know, you're going to have a piece of paper, and you're going to have all that knowledge that you got in those 4 years or 5, however you wanted to do it. And you're probably going to be broke. You know, and I was there. I was there when I did it at college, and I did it again when I was in law school. But you have a really great opportunity to do the things like the commissioner offered you to go and you know, do an externship. You know, go work in a professional industry and do it and get some college credit for it. You know, don't hold out and try to get a place that's gonna pay you. You know, I worked with several people that went and clerked at big law firms, and you know, that looks really good on your resume, and that's awesome for that summer, that semester. But I went and clerked at the Department of Justice, and I worked for free for a year. And that helped me get my first job. And that job helped me get on to the Department of Insurance where I am right now. I think the biggest thing that you can do, you know, while you have all this free time, while you are spending that money, is you need to make that investment in yourself and take that. You know, if you think you like math, go take those actuary tests. You will never have more free time to do the things to prepare yourself for what you're going to do later than you do right now. And, you know, it's your pursuit of knowledge. So, you know, you hate reading books now, but I guarantee if you ask somebody in a professional industry or later on in life, you know, how often they get to read books, it's few and far between because life gets in the way. But where I started, I grew up in Baton Rouge, and I went to LSU. After I left LSU, I had a similar thing. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. You know, he thought he wanted to be a doctor. I thought I wanted to be an engineer. It turns out I didn't like math, so I had to go do something else. And so I went into political science, knowing that I would have to go to some type of post-graduate degree. And I thought, not liking math, you know, I'd go into law. Well, here's a surprise for anybody that thinks they might want to go that path. You kind of need to like math a little bit if you want to go into law. It's got a lot to do with numbers. So just a heads up if anybody's thinking that route. So I sold real estate after undergrad, and then 4 years later, came to Southern to get my law degree. Thought I wanted to be a corporate attorney. Thought it was going to be fun. You know, you see them on TV. It's not. It's not fun. But you might like it. There's a whole industry out there of people that love their jobs, that do those things, that work at the big firms and handle things for companies, and that's wonderful. I didn't know that I was going to like this. I thought going into law school, I was like, I won't do criminal law and I won't do family law. Those are just two things I just don't want to touch. And I clerked for the district attorney in the 21st JDC, Scott Perilou. He's over in Livingston, Tangipahoa, and St. Helena. He gave me an opportunity to go work a summer out there, and turns out I really like criminal law, especially prosecuting. And that's what led me to go work at the Department of Justice, and I prosecuted insurance fraud. I also thought I wanted to prosecute, violent crime, things you see on CSI and all those other attorney shows, and they really don't do the paper crimes so much, but that's what I ended up doing. I ended up prosecuting unemployment insurance fraud and workers' comp fraud, contractor fraud, tax fraud, and it kind of gives you, it's different. It's different. When I prosecute those cases, my victim is the state. So you really don't have to, you don't have the sad story. It's not as emotional as the other crimes, but I can show the person that I'm prosecuting, well, here you did it. It's right here. So it gives you a lot of leeway to move those cases through and to help benefit the public in that way, because you can kind of get it done because it's all on paper. But that's the path that I went, and it's gotten me here, and it got me on this panel, and I want to thank Patrick for asking me. I've only been at the Department of Insurance for about 5 weeks now. So I went from prosecuting, which is the back end of it. It's all happened. They've probably gone through an administrative process by this point. There's probably been a civil process possibly at this point, and then if it's that bad that they need to go to jail or pay some serious fine, be hit with a felony, then that's when it gets to me. So the story's been told several times by the time it gets to me, and now I've moved to the front end, and now I'm part of the regulating, and it's a lot more than what I thought, and so you never know where you're going to be. You never know, where it might take you. I ended up in insurance by chance, and it's worked out really well. So I would say, what you need to take from this is that you need to go out there and get in some type of industry, because you still may end up in insurance, and insurance is wonderful. It's got a lot of opportunities, but I think the best thing you can take away from this is that you need to find something that you want to do professionally, get out there, get some experience before you're swamped with student loans and the debt. So while you have the opportunity, take it. All right, thank you.